Three, two, one.
We'd like to welcome you to another edition of Grok Talk, brought to you by New Hampshire's leading conservative blog site, GraniteGrok.com. We are your feared extremist, right-wing, hard-charging, gun-toting, opinionated, outspoken, rabble-rousing, letter-writing, radio microphone-stomping conservatives and rational libertarians. So get ready for more news and opinion you could only get from GraniteGrok.com.
Grok Talk.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of Grok Talk. Excuse me, I am Steve McDonald here with Skip Murphy, Mike Rogers, and Richard Olson. Hello. We are brought to you by the Granite Grok crew, most of whom are in the room or on the phone, and of course the Coalition of New Hampshire Taxpayers. Please check us out on Spreaker, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and streaming live on Spreaker and Ustream. Also available post-broadcast on all of those platforms and Ustream and YouTube. And now, The Rock, NHCR.com. So, we're moving ahead here. We have more guests, tons of people. And we're always trying to bring you interesting guests and important and connected guests. And today we have one of those people. We have one of the man, the Trump 2016 campaign, Corey Lewandowski, has joined us. Good morning, sir. Corey, there?
Hey, I'm here.
Okay, there we go. Just making some adjustments so we can hear you.
There we go.
Well, congratulations. Your guy's doing great.
He certainly is.
Yeah, Mr. Trump's wild ride. So how much of this are you the pilot or co-pilot on the ride?
Well, as the national campaign manager for the presidential campaign, not in New Hampshire but across the country, I get to help set the policy positions that we put forth and scheduling and the direction and our strategic initiatives. And, at the end of the day, I am a staff member, as all staff members are, and, the final decisions always rest with the candidate because they're the ones who put their names on the ballot. But I've had the privilege of assembling a team and laying out our strategy and building out where we want to be not only today but moving forward to the convention next July.
And actually, I'd have to say you've done a great job, and we're not surprised at all. We've known you for years, Corey, and we consider you a friend of Granite Grok. But certainly the polls that came out last night, early this morning, show that Donald Trump is beating all of his Republican rivals and now is beating Hillary Clinton all over the place.
Beating them, he's running away with it.
Yes, this is huge, to paraphrase your boss. But so you should be feeling pretty good right about now, even though it's early. That's always the operative word at this time of the silly season. It's still early.
Well, I wish the election were actually going to take place next week. I'd really feel a lot better, to be honest with you. But we got a long way to go. The good news is, I think many people, particularly the political pundits, of which I've never had any affinity to, always said Mr. Trump wasn't going to be a factor in this race. He wasn't going to first file, then he wouldn't do his paperwork, and then he would never fill out his personal financial disclosure statements. And then even if he did all of those things, he wasn't going to be a factor in the presidential race. And I think it is fair to make an unbiased statement that not only has he been a factor in this presidential race, but he is 100% driving the narrative of the Republican race for President of the United States, and people are now following his lead and responding to his issues because they understand that his discussion with America to make America great again is what this country actually cares about. So I love when the mainstream political pundits are wrong. It actually brings me a smile to my face knowing how many of these guys have said Mr. Trump would never be a factor and once again proven them wrong.
Wouldn't you say, in fact, Corey, that the mainstream media, the pundits, and even the GOP itself have lost control of the narrative, and that yesterday's signing was, in fact, a capitulation by the GOP to the reality that Trump was on the stage?
Well, I mean, look, the American people are speaking, right? And Mr. Trump refers to them many times as the silent majority, those people who haven't had a voice for a long time, the people who are tired of political correctness, who think that, pressing 1 for Spanish and 2 for English is where our country is going and are fed up with it. Yep. And I think what you'll see across this campaign and continuously is that regardless of which poll you look at when it relates to Mr. Trump, his support is so broad. It's not just with what used to be termed the Tea Party coalition, of which I have been a proud member, as you know, but it's with moderates, it's people who are self-identified as liberals, it's with people with high education levels, low education levels, high income bracket, low income bracket, white collar, blue collar. It doesn't matter. What it shows is that this country is so fed up with a broken Washington. Congress has an approval rating in the low single digits. People want something changed. They want to be proud to be Americans again. What is so bad about that? That's what I don't understand. Why is it people take offense about the fact that he wants to make our country great again, to make us winners again, to create value, to bring our standards back down where we don't spend more than we bring in, to simplify a tax code? And we get, the mainstream media wants to go after Mr. Trump and say, well, these are radical ideas. Is it a radical idea to build a wall to prevent illegal immigrants from coming in and killing American citizens? I don't understand why it's so difficult.
It's interesting, Corey. I'm talking to a lot of people in the course of the week. Rick Olson here, by the way. And I'm talking to people that haven't voted in 20 years, And they're telling me, yeah, I'm supporting Trump. And these are people I know, I've talked to because I've run for office. I can't get them to the polls. Nobody gets them to the polls. Their opinion is they're all crooks. Along comes Donald Trump. He insults a bunch of people. He works off script, and people love it, It's totally cool. And they're supporting him,
I'll tell you, we were down in Tennessee last Saturday morning for an event down there, and there was a woman, and this has been well documented. She's 92 years old. Her name was Bede, and she had never registered to vote, and she came to the event in Nashville. And she said, I registered to vote for the very first time because I finally have someone I can believe in. This is a 92-year-old woman.
Wow.
And I saw this in Londonderry 3 weeks ago. Mr. Trump gave a speech in Derry, and there was an individual there, and I don't want to say his name, but he's wheelchair-bound. And he contacted the town clerk and said, would you come and help me register to vote at my home? I can't physically get there because I'm wheelchair-bound, but I want to register to vote so I can support Donald Trump. This is not an anomaly. This is happening every day. His appeal is exceptionally broad, and people want to feel good about voting for someone that tells them the truth, as opposed to all of these politicians who are so polished and are so establishment that want to tell you what they think you want to hear, but never actually get anything done. So we see this every day all over the country.
I mean,
Corey,
you can actually...
Warren.
Oh, go ahead, Tim.
I just have a quick question. So when you peel back all the rhetoric and all the talk and the showmanship, and the words and the Twitter accounts with unpolitically correct things going on, then you have the policy, and that's the substance. And one of the things during the debate that really threw me off was Trump saying that he thought universal health care in Canada was successful, which it's not. What do you do about those kind of things? What's his actual policy and substance behind the man who's, the showman?
So let's look at it, right? We have talked about illegal immigration from day one. From the day he announced on June 16th, part of our platform was to talk about illegal immigration. So then we put out an immigration plan, a 1,990-word immigration plan that is very simple and says, here's what our plan is to prevent illegal immigrants from continuing to come into our country. And then people said, wow, what is your plan on taxes? What is your plan on this? You know what that is? I'll just be honest with you because I'm a very honest guy. That is the media trying to drive a narrative because the rank-and-file person, the person who lives at 123 Maple Street in Windham, New Hampshire, where I live, doesn't care because it is a bunch of broken promises that politicians put out, these 15 and 20-page or in previous campaigns, 45-page plans on how to renegotiate the tax strategy. Guess what? It's all a bunch of lies. These guys don't do anything. What we have to do is we have to put our faith in people who have a proven track record of getting things done. And here's what it comes down to. It's very simple. It doesn't get any simpler than this. The real question is, who do you want to have negotiating on behalf of you, an American citizen, whether it's with a foreign leader or with Congress, to do what is best for you? Do you want a career politician who's never been able to accomplish anything, that's a low-energy individual, or do you want a person who's actually going to go and say, I've lived this. I know how bad and broken the tax system is, and it's time to fix it. And what we have said is we will put out our tax plan in the next couple of weeks now, and all that is, it's a simple outline so people can understand how fundamentally broken our system is, and we need to do something to fix it. But I don't think the average person, maybe I'm wrong, I don't think the average person wants to read a 45-page policy plan on what Mr. Trump's position is to reform the IRS because, candidly, nobody cares. All they know is the system is broken and they want it better. And I think that's a reasonable thing to say.
Corey, this is Skip. You know who we are and what our interests are and what drives us. One of the things that we've seen with the Obama administration is that they want to do whatever they want to do. They are progressives to the max in the idea of FDR and Woodrow Wilson. There is no limiting factor to these folks, including Obama. They don't care about the Constitution. Now, Mr. Trump's he's been saying he's going to do a whole lot of things, and that's good because I think you're right. People want America great again, and they've seen us go down in their eyes in a whole lot of ways. The question is there a limiting factor to his viewpoint of what federal government should do? And you know where we're asking that question from. Does he believe that there are things that the federal government should no longer do and get out of and not go into stuff that it shouldn't?
Absolutely. What we know first and foremost is that states' rights is paramount. Right? That should always be the case. But more importantly, the basic premise, and I will speak to this personally because I've lived this for a long time, is smaller government, less regulation. I said it when I was the state director of Americans for Prosperity in New Hampshire, when I became the regional director and oversaw 25 states for those guys, and then I took over the whole nation and did their voter registration and got the vote efforts. Smaller government, less regulation is the path moving forward at every level that we can possibly have it at, which means local control. Number one, look, Common Core is a disaster. The fact that we have bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., who are trying to tell our children in my community and yours what their education standards need to be, and there are numerous presidential candidates who fundamentally believe that that is the right thing to do, and it's wrong. Then we have a whole series of presidential candidates who you know who believe the expansion of Medicaid is a great idea, the Obamacare state level, right? There are candidates in this race right now who think that that's a great thing, and as governors of their respective states have taken money to allow it to be implemented at their own state. It's wrong. That's not the role of the federal government. It's time to take and extract the federal government from the day-to-day lives of the people that are here every day. There is a role for the federal government. You know what it is? Homeland security. Protect our nation, right? Make sure people are safe in their homes. Make sure we've got roads and bridges that people can drive on so we can get from A to B with a reasonable way of giving that money to the states and letting them decide. But at the end of the day, the bureaucracy in Washington is so out of control, it's so unaccountable, that the only way it gets reined in is by having an executive and a group of people around that executive in the corner office of the White House that says, I won't tolerate this anymore and it's time to change.
Corey, hang on. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. This is Grok Talk.